British newspaper The Guardian reports that the American who shot dead two men in Lahore, triggering a diplomatic crisis between Pakistan and the U.S., is a CIA agent and former Blackwater operative who was on assignment at the time. Raymond Davis has been the subject of widespread speculation since he opened fire with a semi-automatic Glock pistol on two men who had pulled up in front of his car at a red light on January the 25th. Pakistani authorities charged him with murder, but the Obama administration has insisted he is a, quote, administrative and technical official attached to its Lahore consulate and has diplomatic immunity. But based on interviews in the U.S. and Pakistan, The Guardian can confirm that the 36-year-old former Special Forces soldier is employed by the CIA. A senior Pakistani intelligence official said, quote, "It's beyond a shadow of a doubt." The revelation may complicate American efforts to free Davis, who insists he was acting in self-defense against a pair of suspected robbers who were both carrying guns. Scores of protesters took to the streets of Karachi this past week, demanding Davis's death. Protesters chanted, "Any friend of the U.S. is a traitor," and marched through the streets carrying banners. One placard showed a hangman's noose with the phrase, "Your destiny," written underneath, and later a group of men burnt an effigy of Davis. Pakistani prosecutors accused the spy of excessive force, saying he fired 10 shots and got out of his car to shoot one man twice in the back as he fled. The man's body was found 30 feet from his motorbike. The Pakistani government is aware of Davis's CIA status, yet has kept quiet in the face of immense American pressure to free him under the Vienna Convention. Last week, President Barack Obama described Davis as, quote, "our diplomat." Many Pakistanis are outraged at the idea of an armed American rampaging through their second-largest city. Analysts have warned of Egyptian-style protests if Davis is released. It will not be fair to release him in a way that the victims do not get justice. If he is released, the whole of the people will react intensely, and it will go beyond government's control. A third man was crushed by an American vehicle as it rushed to Davis's aid. Pakistani officials believe its occupants were CIA also because they came from the house where Davis lived and they were armed. The U.S. refused Pakistani demands to interrogate the two men, and a senior Pakistani intelligence official said that they had left the country. But Washington's case is hobbled by its resounding silence on Davis's role. He served in the U.S. Special Forces for 10 years before leaving in 2003 to become a security contractor for Z Services, the mercenary firm formerly known as Blackwater. That Davis worked for Z could prove even more problematic than working for the CIA, given the extent of hatred towards Blackwater, whose staff have gained a reputation in Pakistan as trigger-happy. Pakistani newspaper reports have been filled with lurid reports of lawless operatives roaming the country. A number of U.S. media outlets learned about Davis's CIA role, but kept it under wraps at the request of the Obama administration. A Colorado television station, 9 News, made a connection after speaking to Davis's wife. She referred its inquiries to a number in Washington, which turned out to be the CIA. The station removed the CIA reference from its website at the request of the U.S. government.